everybody, and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food plant-based experience that has the intention to inspire you to try new foods and new recipes. It's to educate you on the health benefits of a plant-based diet, and it's to have a lot of fun, learn some new facts about various foods from all around the world. I'm joined by my wonderful wife Catherine. I'm Joshua, and we also have a live crowd here at the Grace Learning Center in Michigan City, Indiana. We're very excited for this episode. Today's recipe has been a staple in our household for a good while now. I'd say at least 9 months, mainly because it's very easy to make. It serves a lots of people and it can be easily scaled, so it can serve as little as one person all the way up really to 16 if you have that size party without too much change. And it's very nutritious, it's very filling, satiating, and best of all, I think, it has a creamy, cheesy texture and taste that a lot of people don't think is possible on a plant-based diet because we obviously don't eat cheese. And we're excited to show you. Catherine, lovely smile. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good. I'm so excited to share this recipe with you today. I'm calling it green spaghetti because it's going to have a green sauce, green nuts, green vegetables, and when you look at it, you just think this is healthy. And that is because the color green has chlorophyll in it, and chlorophyll is known to be antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and the greens that are in this recipe are mostly raw. So it's going to have lots of enzymes in it, and it's going to be really delicious. So I'm excited to share this with you, and I hope it becomes a staple in your house just like it's become a staple in our house.
Wonderful. Let's get into it. What we're going to cook first?
So we've got the water boiling right now for the noodles. And then once that starts boiling, we'll get the noodles in. But we're gonna start with the nut saute. So has anyone here ever had a nut saute? So what we like to do in our house is when we don't feel like we're in the mood for beans, we use chopped up nuts as a replacement for meat because it gives a texture that is really nice, and it just seamlessly falls into the dish just like a ground meat would. So what we do is we just chop up nuts. You can use walnuts, you can use cashews. We are using pistachios today because they're green, and that's going to be chopped up, and then we're going to chop onion up, and then we're going to get that to saute. So between the spaghetti and the nut saute, this is the cooked portion of it. But because nuts are usually dry roasted already, or if you pre-soak them, they're ingestible, because most of the time you want to pre-soak when you buy nuts raw, you pre-soak them in the fridge in water, and then those are just ready to eat. So we're not going to overcook the onion or the nuts. It's all going to be on low and slow.
Yeah. And tell me about pistachios, Catherine. Give me some pistachio history facts. That's what I need in my life right now.
Okay.
How long have we been eating them?
So, is anyone, you want to guess?
Oh yeah, let's do a guess.
I like guesses.
How many years have we been eating pistachios for as a species?
It's in the thousands.
Thousands.
More than 1,000?
Yes.
Yeah.
More than 5,000?
No.
Oh, it's 9,000 years.
9,000 years.
Yes. And interestingly enough, when we were researching pistachios, we found a reference in the Bible to pistachios. So Genesis 43:11 talks about how Adam brought pistachios with him to earth. And usually, regardless of your spiritual inclinations or faith beliefs, I find that if food is mentioned in these texts, typically it's because it's good for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's like a pretty common theme. It's very rare that they reference something like an energy drink or it's just something that's not going to be good for you, or like, you know, processed food. Obviously,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm getting at, and that is pretty good lineage. So there was that. And tell me about the protein in pistachios, Catherine.
So one serving of pistachios, which is 49 pistachios.
Not 50.
That's a serious amount. I know.
50 is dangerous.
So specific. If you go one over, but 49 pistachios, which, now that I know it's that high, I'm definitely gonna munch on more because that's my go-to snack when I'm at my mom's house. She's always got the pistachios ready for us. It's equal to 1 egg serving. And wait, isn't it equal?
Yeah, equal.
It's equal to 1 large egg, making them an excellent substitution.
For which you will be ecstatic about.
You gotta get the egg jokes in there.
You need them. Right, are they chopped up enough for
Yeah.
you?
Are they
No
calories?
more.
Hmm?
Pistachios high in calories?
I would say so.
Nuts typically are high in calories.
It
yeah.
says 6 grams of protein, which is pretty substantial. It's not your full dose of protein in a day, but
Taste.
there's like differences between when people think of high protein diets versus incorporating some fats as well. And so these have fat in them as well, and avocado will have fat in it as well. So the pasta will have protein in it as well. So I think it does have a sufficient amount of calories. We didn't look that up specifically.
Yeah, you also have to be relatively careful with the protein aspect because it's just a marketing buzzword now. They put protein in everything, and protein is very good for you, but the way that it's marketed, they just are adding it to various random products that don't necessarily need protein in them. You can get it from whole food sources like this, like beans, legumes, so just be aware of
You can even get it
marketing
from
ploys.
green vegetables.
Yeah, you can.
Like there's protein in this.
Do you have the pan ready for this? So I'm just dicing and up an onion here.
The water seems to be boiling as well. Should we get the noodles in then?
Yeah, just get the pan on. And we're
Whoa.
sauteing this because then we don't have to use oil. We try to not cook with oil as much as possible because when you heat oil, it oxidizes and it makes it actually worse for you than not using oil at all. So all of the health benefits, which we'll talk about a bit more when we add in olive oil. Natural oils like that come with health benefits, but as soon as you cook it, it oxidizes and it can have actually pro-inflammatory effects. So we're going to avoid that as much as possible.
Does anyone break their spaghetti in half before they cook it, or do they keep it whole?
Break it in half.
Always break it in half.
Oh.
I want to know. We didn't look that up.
What's
I
the
want to know
tensile
the
strength?
history. The history of breaking spaghetti in half. I don't think I can
You're not
do
going to be
that.
able to do that.
I
That's
don't think
too
I could
many.
do the whole thing.
So are those whole wheat noodles or?
These are yeah, chips the box. You want to add them in and on or what?
Well, I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay.
Do you want help?
Yes. Here, you grab one. Jeez Louise, these are strong. No, it's on the ground.
Yeah.
You gotta do it over the bowl. Oh jeez, they're on the ground. When did we not drop things on the ground?
You have to.
Oh.
Part of the show. Get those. Oh yeah, that dropped more than I imagined it to. It'll be alright, they'll cook down.
Whole wheat.
The spaghetti that we're using today is this one. This is organic brown rice pasta. It's gluten free. We find it a whole lot easier to digest than regular spaghetti.
Regular wheat spaghetti.
Yeah, I suppose regular wheat spaghetti. And it's really tasty as well, I find. It's a thick one, but there are alternatives that you can use to this as well. There's lentil spaghetti,
Chickpea spaghetti.
chickpea spaghetti. They all have slightly different flavours.
Yeah.
And we find this to be the most neutral.
You can find them in any basic grocery store.
Did she see that box? She's wanting to take a picture.
Yeah, we'll pass the box around. Do you want to pass that out?
Sure.
Go on.
It's award winning, artisan crafted in Italy, I'm sure.
There you go.
There you go. It's very special.
We've come for awards.
Okay,
Right,
so
let's get this to.
Yes, that's what I was
not-
doing.
Huh?
what's wrong with it?
It looks a bit not good.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
That's better.
Yeah, so
I think the word saute sounds better when it's salt
saute.
and not salt. So what we're gonna do is get these in here. Do you want to get some water?
The nice thing about I'm just gonna say is that the nice thing about the onion, when you cook it, here, you don't have to add the pistachios yet. Let's just get the onions to
Okay.
heat up first. So, like I said, the nuts most of the time will already be raw and they don't have to be cooked technically or dry roasted, so you don't want to overcook them. But the onion, you definitely want it to start sweating. So I usually put the onion on first, get it to start sweating, and then it has moisture to it. And that moisture is really great because you don't have to add oil or extra water how you were thinking because the moisture is already in the onion. So we'll get this on low, so it will start releasing the moisture.
There you go. Do you want me to do that outside?
Yeah. And where's the lid for this one?
Back. Good deal. The more I see us cook, I never see us use 4 burners at a time. Do anybody ever do that? We only ever use 2. Anybody use 4 at a time? 4 burners?
Just on the holiday.
Yeah, just for the
on
holidays.
Yeah, I
agree.
could see that.
I
Just always 2 for us, isn't it?
If you ever feel like your nut saute is too dry or sticking to the pan, just a little dash of water or vegetable stock would be nice. Just to avoid oil burning is our goal here. We did
Yeah,
that
we don't
the
like
other
oil
day
burning.
with Arepas. and it was
Right, let's get
nice.
into the avocado sauce. You can leave this flat on there.
Okay.
Just a bit easier. So let's get into the avocado sauce, which the first ingredient will be.
Avocados!
There you go.
Wow, shocker.
That's a plot twist, wasn't it? We weren't expecting. Tell us about avocados.
I don't know if we've communicated this before, but avocados are one of those fruits that, because it has a hard outer skin, you don't necessarily have to buy them organic. The contamination level is not that high for it, where you would need to worry about that. So we don't always buy organic avocados. When the price is good, we do just go out of our way to buy the organic ones, but people usually associate with them being a bit. That's just onion. So more about avocados. Before 1915, avocados were actually called in Florida the alligator pear, which I think
Which you
is
can see.
a very fun name.
Just look kind of like a pear shaped and then the alligator skin.
And if you look at the ones from Florida, they're
They're
massive. They look like they are definitely a different species.
They are. This is the Hass avocado, which is the most popular one, but the Florida avocado, as Kate said, is, I would argue, probably 3.5 to 4 times bigger. And I don't like the flavour as much. It's a bit more bland to me. These are sweeter and nuttier, so.
Yeah.
I
We love
prefer-
avocados
Can we get this
because
spoon?
of they're rich in fiber and nutrients, and the green color is also very conducive towards being like, healthy. We eat them pretty much every day,
Every day.
and they are considered to be a climateric, meaning it matures on the tree, but it ripens off the tree. So that's why when you buy them from the store, they're like hard and grain, but you let it sit for 24 hours at room temperature and they'll be nice and soft.
And if you want to ripen it faster, what do?
Put them in a bag with, guess the fruit? Banana. Yeah, bananas naturally release a chemical. I can't remember which
Yeah,
one it is,
I can't
but
remember
it
either.
causes fruit to ripen faster.
A lot faster as well. It's pretty significant.
Because-
Bananas is also like the. I
Climateric.
buy so much organic because of the.
Yes, that's also
Yeah.
one that we buy, sometimes organic, sometimes not.
There's a website that's really useful for that called the EWG or
EWG.org.
and they do a lot of research into the pesticide use across various countries, and they amalgamate all of the data together to show you which foods are most at risk of contamination when pesticides are used and which ones are most hardy, and they have different lists. One's called the Clean 15, one is called the Dirty 30, I think. Is it Dirty 30 or Dirty 15? And the easiest way to remember it is if it has a skin on, it's typically going to be okay if it's not organic. Whereas-
I know they say strawberries is like one of the highest
Yeah.
cancer things because of the pores, it sucks the chemicals inside the.
Yeah, all of those soft fruits, any lettuce greens, anything that pretty much if you put something outside and bugs can get to it, then they'll spray it with more pesticides because they have to obviously protect it from the bugs. So imagine this hard case here protects it a little bit more. Same for lots of different fruits. And
Like
if you
pineapple,
eat it,
another one.
yeah, mangoes are on the Clean 15, avocados,
Watermelon, I would assume.
watermelon. So and if you're eating the skin as well, that one's really ripe. Holy moly!
So
Straight through.
something fascinating about avocado seeds is that there's a whole niche of people that make avocado seed art. I
Yes.
don't know if you know that, but
fascinating.
the seeds harden and they're as hard as a rock or a solid hardwood. And so people carve them and make jewelry and other small artist-based things. So I've watched a few videos on it and I was like, wow, these are really beautiful. This woman made a pennant out of an avocado seed that's like a little octopus.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was like, what
Quite
was
the
her
niche
name?
that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like Chia Chia Ying Yang or something on YouTube.
Turn the page over.
Well-
Next ingredient is
I was just gonna say,
Oh.
avocados are older than our pistachio friends, 10,000 years ago, originating in the tropical climates of Mexico or the Andes. Incredible.
there we go.
Okay, so now our good friend garlic. Are you gonna do your daily dose of raw garlic for
Yeah.
the day? Oh, wow,
Need it.
shocker.
You need it.
No.
It's good for you. Why is it good for you? Why is garlic good for you?
It's just naturally antibacteria, and so when you ingest it, it supports your immune system naturally, as opposed to antibiotics that can actually weaken your immune system, even though they could provide some initial fast, brief relief. Garlic is going to be something that long-term supports your immune system. So you didn't wash your hands between the avocados,
Yeah, I
so now
did.
you have, oh, you did. You're just
They're just wet. That's
Paper
why it's
hands.
sticking the. Getting on my head.
I'm gonna check the name over.
Yeah, garlic actually has something called allicin in, and it's the allicin that causes it to have its antibiotic and antifungal properties. If you just Google the health benefits of garlic, out of all of these, there's often a long list that we often think is sometimes made up, and I comment on how I feel it's made up because it's always extensive, but garlic is arguably one of the longest lists of benefits, and actually it's good for repelling mosquitoes in the summer. So if you're eating a garlic-rich diet, the mosquitoes don't really tend to like that. And I find that the people who eat cleaner typically aren't as affected by mosquito bites in the summer. That's like a correlation I've seen when I've been through periods of health and not eating so clean. When I don't eat as clean, the mosquitoes seem to want to bite me a whole lot more. So what the correlation is there, I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to eat 4 pieces of raw garlic cloves because I'm training for summer. I'm ready for them.
I thought that you had a conversation with the mosquitoes on a spiritual level.
Oh, well, I did, yeah. That's a story for another day, I think.
Okay. Well, so
Do you want some of this?
I'm not in the mood for that yet.
Really?
He's gonna go for all 4, chat. Oh, he loves it. Has anyone tried the daily dose of raw garlic yet?
No.
No.
You get used
Is
to
anyone
it.
interested in trying it today? No? It's not as scary as you would think. It's just sometimes you're either in the mood for it or not. If you have like a nice sweet beverage right now. You
Yeah,
wanna
isn't
try
that-
it? Robert wants to try a
Go on,
sliver.
slice a bit off.
Okay. I'll try the smallest little bit. And if you're trying the spaghetti, you won't even know.
I'm gonna get those in that.
Go for it.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, go
I'll do it whenever you're ready. He's a brave man, we love it. Next,
It just
into-
tastes like garlic, right? Just strong.
Well.
Okay, wait. I think before we move on.
Okay, yeah, show us what you got.
The piece she gave me, is that what they recommend per day or a bigger piece?
Some people eat a whole clove.
Yeah, depending
I've
on,
seen.
yeah, if
Doesn't
you,
it start coming out of your pores and you
That's
get
what I was
it?
gonna
you
ask.
can do, yeah.
Well,
Kind of
because
if
your
you don't
skin is one of the most. Your skin is the. Is
Largest organ.
the largest organ to repel toxins out of your body. So,
It
if
flushes.
the garlic is doing that, then it's flushing the toxins with it.
Oh, that's weird.
So it's a good thing you just kind of stink.
So-
I used to work with a girl and she would eat garlic all the time.
Mm.
And she would smell so bad because it's coming out.
Yeah, coming out of the skin.
And she'd
Yeah.
have the fan blowing on her and it'd be blowing towards Tracy. Tracy stood up boxes beside her because she could.
I would imagine after a while it would get a bit overwhelming, especially when it's on your fingers.
small
It's
room.
just is a bit much. I save garlic for the end of the day. I don't usually do it.
Isn't garlic,
You want a spoon?
Like help for fighting colds and that too?
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
there's like a cold remedy that you make where you just crush garlic, add honey, and a bit of cayenne, and you mix it, and you just let it fall down your throat, and it actually is a cure for strep throat and other
Yeah.
throat-related congestion.
Garlic is really a superfood. It's very special.
So I
What's that
think
really
these
mean?
are starting to sweat a bit.
They are, yeah.
And as you can see, steam is being released, and that steam is insinuating to me, oh, this is a moist environment to add our nuts. So we'll put them in there.
You guys cook mainly at home with cast iron?
Yes, we do.
Always, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I figured.
because they're so easy to clean, and
You can put them down. That's my favourite feature. Is you can
you
put
put
them
them
straight
in the
into
oven.
oven.
This has the rubber on it, so I'm not quite sure what happened. But I've heard that
Some of them are
this
okay. But
Calphalon is a good brand. I've heard, at least.
through the saucepan grapevine.
And then you can season this however you want to. You don't even have to season it, but we're gonna add a little bit of oregano powder, or as my husband would say, oregano.
You're getting good at that. We practice that one in the morning, don't we? Oregano. Oregano.
Oh wait, this is Italian seasoning, so it will have oregano in it and basil. Basil. Is it
Close enough. We'll give you a solid 7 out of 10
Basil.
effort. A for effort.
Sometimes I make this more of a smoky. I use
Yeah.
like smoked paprika, garlic powder, onion powder.
I think that's my favourite one when you make it smoky. But this one is good. And it really takes on, because there's so many onions in here, it really takes on whatever seasonings that you put in. And because you're sauteing it and not frying it, I find that if you fry herbs like this, they lose their taste pretty quick.
Yeah, they do.
And they just taste like maybe charred. I don't know. I can't taste it as well. Whereas if it's sautéed and you're just sweating it in water, or in this case, as Catherine's taught me today, just in the onion water, you really pick up that flavour. So
This already smells so good.
it's very versatile, isn't it? This dish, this topping can really
Yeah.
take on any flavour you want. I guess I say this most weeks, but I think sweet would work in there at some point as well if you wanted to try
Yeah,
that.
like drizzle some honey on it.
Honey
That would
in
be
there.
good too.
I could see it.
I just know that if you're starting to feel cold and you make this recipe, you'll feel so much better because of all the garlic, all of the onion. Oregano is also good for your immune system.
Did you put mushroom powder in that?
You could put
could,
mushroom
yeah.
powder in that. And I
Yeah,
would
you
even
could.
wait to put the mushroom powder in the sauce because we're not cooking the sauce. You don't want to heat the mushroom powder. You want to avoid that so it contains still all of its properties, health properties. So you just drizzle that in. You won't even know it's there. Guarantee.
Right, we're back to the sauce.
Back
We've
to
got
the
the
sauce.
avocados in there, garlic in there. Next up is olive oil.
Yeah, so
And another question. We love a question. How many years can an olive tree live for?
maximum.
Oh, we do maximum, alright.
Oh.
Yeah, do maximum. We'll give an average after, but maximum. 100 years?
More,
700 years?
more.
1200 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More. The average is about 500, but they've got trees that are up to 2,000 years old.
Incredible.
Which I find really hard to comprehend as a concept that that's true, but mainly in Spain, Greece, these areas of the world produce the most olive oil because that's the most optimal conditions for olive trees, and they are really special, those ancient trees. And again, another correlation I personally live by is that if a tree or a plant lives very long, typically it's because it is a healthy plant and it has properties that make it age very well. If you look at figs, pomegranates, lots of these fruits where the trees live a long time, same as olives, they're usually super healthy foods. And that's the same case for olive oil. But Catherine, what do we have to be careful with when sourcing our olive oil?
There can be times where you're being sold maybe not the purest olive oil, or it's not as fresh as it can be. So the fresher that your olive oil is produced, the better it is for you, because oils at room temperature naturally oxidize. And so we found this out recently because we were always buying in bulk. So we buy this huge olive oil container and we're like, oh, this is better for us because we're getting it at less price. What we found out is that maybe that's not the best because it will continue to oxidize the longer it is that we're not using it. So there are some companies out there that really believe in getting the olive oil to you as soon as possible. So if you could do some research in finding one of those. And there's also a test that you can do if you're not quite sure if your olive oil is quality. If you put it in the fridge and it hardens, then it's real olive oil. If you put it in the fridge and it does not harden, then it is not. That is what I've also found out in my research, which I thought was pretty interesting.
And it just pulled up, as we were just touching on with pesticides and chemicals in farming, when you're ingesting oil, because it is so readily absorbed and it gets through your body and into your system very effectively, you have to be extra careful that you're not sourcing olive oil from fields that use specific chemicals and pesticides, because unlike other foods where you have a bit more defense, the oil can go straight in. That's a very basic explanation of what really is happening, but I think that kind of makes sense. Similar to a car, the oil goes straight through all of the systems similar to us, so just be extra careful with that. Next,
It is interesting how like often car metaphors relate to
all
our
the time.
body.
It's
like
really
cars are
accurate,
an
though.
extension of us in life. It's just
Yeah.
fascinating. It doesn't make any sense at all. Okay.
I'll get
Our
the
good
cup.
friend Nooch is how we're gonna get a more cheesy flavor to our avocado green raw sauce. And I recently took a Dutch test, which is a female hormone test that evaluates where each of my hormones are in my body and where I'm at with certain nutrients. And it measured my B12 and it said I was good to go. So it must be because I incorporate Nooch into lots of my recipes that even on a plant-based diet, my B12 levels are sufficient, which is really exciting.
Which is very good.
Yes, I'm excited
Very good
about
news.
that.
As I say, mentioned most weeks, this is the most processed aspect of all of our kitchen, but as Kate said, it does have the benefits of having all these B vitamins. Vitamins! It's happening! Vitamins, B vitamins.
I thought you always said vitamins. Vitamins.
I've been corrupted.
Oh man.
Moving on.
You corrupt me just as much as I corrupt you. It's equal. I think we naturally adjust to what's easier
Yeah.
to say. Maybe
But
is
the
what's
British
going
accent
on.
is not a corruption, it's an addition.
It's an addition.
We're going to put 2 cups of plant-based milk in.
One at a time though, because it's
Oh,
all
okay,
going to be
okay.
based on how creamy that you want your sauce to be. I like when the sauce pours like a regular cheesy sauce would
Okay.
do. So
Right,
we're
that's
using
1 cup.
unsweetened almond milk here, but you can use coconut milk or oat milk or cashew, whatever you've got available,
Yeah.
whatever you
Right, give that a
fancy.
quick whiz. Do you want to?
Well,
that's-
we forgot the fresh herbs.
Oh, they get
Herbs.
Woo! They're alive.
We love to add fresh when we can. And so we're really blessed when at this show we can use the fresh herbs.
Smells good.
And so this one, we're gonna be adding basil and oregano to this one. So it's all based on taste preference. So you may not need as much as you feel like you have a delicate palate and you don't like flavors to be overwhelming, but I like my sauce to be almost as strong as like a pesto would taste. I want to
You
taste
do
the
like a strong
garlic
sauce, don't
and
you?
the basil and oregano. Who loves pesto here? Yeah, this sauce is really similar to what a pesto sauce would taste like, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And texture
And these herbs
experience.
will match the dry herbs that we put on the salt.
Nate salt.
I'm rebranding that. I think it's better meat.
Well, because without the dash, it is
Salt.
salt.
So they'll match, and as
Salt.
Kate talks about and has trained me,
How much did you add at the oregano?
about 6.
6 leaves.
Is that a lot?
I don't know. I guess we're gonna
We can
blend
do it
it
to
and
taste.
then taste it and see what happens.
Alright, let's do that then.
Okay.
Short blending break.
Over to the. We're doing a short blending break and a short stir break for the noodles.
And it should be pretty much done.
That's gonna need more.
More milk. Yeah, it's a little bit thick, that is. So I only put 1 cup in. So what, a cup and a half, do you think?
Yeah, I would do just at least another cup.
Oh, no, the whole cup. We'll do 3/4. That'll be good.
This onion, I didn't really.
What?
You lift pretty big chunks of onion in your sugar bear.
Camera pressure. How's it looking?
Smells fantastic.
Alright, that looks good. That looks like the right consistency.
Does it? We'll give it a
What do you
taste.
think? Oh, taste.
We'll give it a taste test. So I stirred our noodles around. They're feeling soft. Does anyone believe in the ancient noodle test? Who's heard of that before? To know
haven't
when
heard
noodles
of
are done.
Throw it in the wall or
Yeah, if you throw it on the ceiling and it sticks, then you know your noodle's done. I've heard that before, and I don't think I've
Tim.
ever tried it, but these ceilings look really nice.
Oh,
I don't
I've
think
seen
I
it,
want to
yeah.
like throw
I've
them
never
on
heard
there.
of
But
that.
isn't that pretty silly?
Yeah, it's
I just
silly.
kind of take a bite, and I know with these gluten-free noodles, which is obvious, I guess. Woo! So with the gluten-free noodles, I like to cook them on a lower temperature. I don't like boil them. I cook them at a low temperature for longer because I find that if you cook them at a temperature that's too high, they're more likely to stick together and congeal into one mega noodle, which we don't want. Okay, let's give this sauce a try. I think it could be a bit more herby and a bit more garlicky.
More garlicky, I doubt that.
Well, because if you think about ratios here, we have 6 avocados, and so if you want to be able to match that, you need like a lot more than what we just contributed to it.
Alright.
We're making great time. This is our quickest show yet. I always say that, don't I? Jeez. We bought a basil plant yesterday, and we're really excited about it. It's the best.
They do like to stick together, these noodles, that's definitely true.
That's the one caveat to gluten-free noodles is they do stick together if you're not careful, and you kind of have to pull them apart.
That's what I'm doing with the forks here, is just spreading the ones that are, well, attempting to spread the ones that are. There we go.
I like to save the stems of my herbs as well, and I let them dry, and I collect them. And then after I'm done collecting them, you know, like those sage smudges where you combine sage together in a bundle and you burn it as an incense? I like to combine my herb sticks as well, my dried herb stems, to get a flavorful burning smell that's nice and pleasant.
Does smell good, that, especially the basil.
Because the stems, they're not as easy to chew and utilize, but I just like to use as many resources fully as I can.
Yeah, you do.
That's my goal. If I know I can, then I will.
Yeah. Right. There's 2 more, that should be good, right? Yeah. 2 more?
2 more, sure.
2 more, 2 more.
Hopefully that's enough then.
And then I'll give that a blend up.
Wait, I want to add a little bit more
Oregano.
oregano.
Oh my god.
But look how easy this is, the sauce wise. You're not cooking anything, you're just adding it to a blender and adding more seasonings as you go. Another tip for if your noodles seem to be sticking together and you're not done with the rest of it and you want to drain them is you drain them and then you pour some cold water over it, and it helps them from sticking together and cools them down until you're ready to serve. Are you going to just be over there shredding it?
Yeah, there's only a couple of those just stuck together, but not many.
That's what I love about this dish as well, is that it's good for the winter when you're feeling a cold coming on because of all the herbs that it has, and because pasta in general, a spaghetti meal, is filling and hearty. But this recipe is also great for the summer because the sauce is a cool sauce and you can cool the noodles down with the cold water. And then the element that we're incorporating in last is also not a cooked version of it, so I feel like it's an all year round great experience. And it would be perfect for St. Patrick's Day, as our audience member had insinuated, but I didn't think about that. So we'll have to save another green treat for next St. Patrick's Day. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about this last aspect of it?
Sure. Where do you want to put this?
You can leave it there for now.
Right, what we got?
So last but not least is the grains that we are going to use in our dish.
Yep.
You dumped all the spaghetti water, didn't you?
Yep.
Sometimes it's useful to keep the spaghetti water since it's already hot to defrost your vegetables, but we did not do that today, which is fine. But you can use in your green spaghetti just peas or just broccoli, but we wanted to do both, so we're gonna do a little bit of peas and a little bit of broccoli. And why do we love these vegetables, Joshua?
Well, this is full of vitamin C, A, and K.
So we call it vitamin CAC.
Vitamin K, which is great. And it was first introduced to America by Italian immigrants.
Calling it broccola.
Broccolo.
Broccolo.
And then it got changed to broccoli, which I think is the singular of the plural. I'm not sure, I don't speak Italian. But it wasn't really widely popularised until about the 1920s. So it's a relatively new vegetable in our diet. And in the last, in the last 25 years, the consumption has increased over 940%.
Which is significant.
Significant. And people are just realising that it is a very tasty vegetable when cooked in the right way. And I find that the broccoli with the cheese mixture goes really well together, and they complement each other. And you'll see that in the processed food packages. They'll do broccoli cheese,
Broccoli and cheddar.
cauliflower and cheese. Broccoli and cauliflower are very similar. So we really like broccoli and the health benefits. And then peas, I think they could be my favourite of all the vegetables.
Because they're high in protein, and we obviously know the world record we talked about with Janet Harris, and she was eating all of them with chopsticks. That's incredible.
Still waiting to hear back from her.
Yeah,
But as far as we know, she still holds the record.
of course.
No one's taken her on.
So we're gonna chop the broccoli up into small bits because I love bite-sized pieces. I don't like
Shall I clean this up?
overwhelming large bites.
Okay, so
Okay.
put those in there. Take this over here. Give it a quick.
And just like that, our show notes is covered in oil and avocado, per usual. Okay, so we need to be able to defrost our vegetables. You can obviously have these fresh, or if you prefer the canned version, we like the frozen version. So if you just remember to take them out of the freezer and they're thoroughly defrosted by the time you're ready to serve, then that's great. But if you wait until, oh, I'm about to cook and I want to cook this, you just take them out and you put them in you boil some water, pour it over, and then they're defrosted.
Yeah, they
You don't have to
defrost pretty
overthink
readily.
about it, because most of the time when they're putting vegetables in these packages, they've already blanched them. So they've already put them in boiling water to so that they retain the color after you frost them. So, because when you look at this broccoli, it already looks cooked. It just needs to be
Warmed up.
warmed up.
Unless you like
slightly.
frozen broccoli.
It probably would have
No
been
judgment.
easier to defrost it and then chop it, but
Well, it's pretty defrosted.
here we are now.
It's easy to chop. I would say it's actually
It's just
easy
because
to
it-
chop frozen.
Yeah, but how are you gonna, once you rinse it, you're gonna lose all the little bits.
Don't rinse it.
How are you gonna heat it? Are you gonna put it in the nut saute to heat it up?
Can't you just put it straight in the main sauce?
It's cold.
Okay. Put it in the nut saute.
Alright, we'll put it in the nut saute to warm it up because we've already chopped it up. But the broccoli is probably a little bit harder to defrost than the peas.
It's pretty defrosted though.
Put your hand on it.
I know, but
and
I'm
you tell
saying
me
it's not
how
gonna take
defrosted
long.
it is.
It's not
No,
gonna
it's
take
not gonna take long. The pan's already hot. I've turned the nut saute off. So if we just add that to here, it'll be perfect because we don't want to overcook our vegetables. It's very important to
Well,
not do
that
that.
looks great. Isn't that?
Yeah, this smells fantastic. Wait, should we show them the nut saute before we pour that out? We're coming back over here. We'll show you. Look how pretty! Can you smell it? I'll waft it over to you.
It smells very good though.
It smells fantastic.
Be crunchy.
Fantasticoso.
Go on, bang that in there.
Okay. This will get it warmed up. And then for the peas, do you want to do the same thing, or do you want to do the boiling water? We already poured on our boiling water.
Just put them in there.
I'm gonna have to retry the sauce as well. Make sure that. Because I want garlic to be coming out of your pores, every single one of you.
Kate does like garlic a lot. More garlic. You can hear it in there doing its thing just with the water.
It doesn't have overwhelmingly garlic, basil, oregano taste. I don't know what's going on here. We really should have added more, but
I think
it's
you
okay.
you have quite a strong
I
palate.
must have a strong palate. I'm sure you guys are gonna like it anyway, so.
Yeah, so we're going to just mix that up. It's already starting to defrost. I don't know if you can hear that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, we should probably just
We'll warm it up.
a little bit.
And then the last step
Oh.
is put it all together.
Yeah. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Any questions? No? Yeah.
Easy peasy. Right. Let that warm up.
I know there's been some people that have conveyed that they don't know how they feel about cold sauce pastas, and so you could technically heat this up really low. I just find that when you add any heat to avocado, it changes the taste of avocado, and I immediately don't like it as much. So it's better just to have everything else warm and the avocado sauce cold, and it may get some getting used to having a sauce that's not completely warm, but it is delicious. Is anyone's like favorite the creamy spaghettis from the stores, the restaurants? I used to love it, the creamy spaghettis, like carbonara and carbonara's with the Alfredo-y sauce, and it's got peas in it as well.
The raw egg on top in it.
Yeah, that's just too much for me.
Raw
It
egg.
usually has bacon in it as well, which is just no bueno for me.
It is good though. Right, that's there. Ready to rumble. We're in the home stretch. It's over here. That sounds cooking. How's it looking?
It's still a bit cold.
Yeah, just give it a minute.
That's a big chunk of broccoli. I'm just gonna eat it. Yeah, very cold.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Like what's frozen? We have like a big Dutch oven, cast iron. Is it cast iron, that Dutch oven? Or is it ceramic?
The yellow one?
Yeah. It's heavy, so we just usually cook it all in that and then mix it. And then these parts that aren't warmed through, it just warms it through, and then you add the sauce at the end. You've got it on your lip.
Broccoli is cold.
Well,
We should garnish it though. We'll put out a
yeah, we
little.
can put a little bit of basil and oregano on the top. Do you want a bowl then? Is that what you want?
Yeah, I might as well get the bowls.
We'll serve
I
it.
like these, so we're not gonna use these.
We'll serve it in this bowl. Wonderful scenes. So it's very easy this, as you can tell. Obviously we've been talking about the history of olive trees and avocados and vitamins and all the various aspects of this show that extends the cook time, but when we do this, and especially if we're hungry and we've been out and we want something that's easy and super quick, really you can get this done in like 20 minutes. Focused, boil the thing, do the thing and chuck it all together. And it's why I like it is because when you've got a big pot and you can serve your first portion out and eat that, let that digest, and then
He always goes for seconds.
go back and forths.
You're just like, I don't like to fill my bowl too full, because then I always go back for more.
Because it tastes new again, doesn't it?
And we were always so hungry that we always make too much, and then we have room for seconds the next day. And because it's a nice cold spaghetti, you don't necessarily have to heat it up the next day. It is nice as a cold, like pasta salad spaghetti dish as well.
Very
So
versatile.
It's very versatile, and when I was making this recipe, it's straight from the memory bank. I did not have to do any research or anything. Like, that's how often we make this, so it's a real blessing to have.
And budget-wise, very affordable for real good, wholesome plant food, organic as well. It's very accessible. No, except for the avocados, and even now, avocados are very affordable compared to what they used to be. Especially where in England, where I grew up, avocados were always very expensive and never ripe. And we used to put them on the radiators to warm them up.
What?
Yeah, that's what my dad used to do because I don't know. It's just what he thought helped, and
To
it
ripen
did help a
them.
little bit. Yeah, keep it warm. I don't know, but we didn't have them very often, and when we did, they were just kind of whatever. But in America, they're widely accessible.
It needs just a few more minutes, y'all. Oh no, she said it. She said y'all.
You hollering
in front of
about?
him.
Well, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I guess we could get the spaghetti in the bowl and just.
Well, I thought we were
That's
going to
too
mix it
big.
all in there,
Oh,
like we do at home. no?
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we got to
probably
do
the
it
best
all and
idea.
just mix it around. Authentic.
That one part, this one defrost part seeds changed our entire cook time. So
Yeah.
when you think about defrosting, you do it in the midway. I always,
In the midway.
well, because I'm usually the one preparing this meal, so I always have the peas already defrosted before I'm done with the sauce.
Oh yeah, you do that. You do it in the boiling water.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
Presentations. Calculating presentations and cook times and everything else in my head just...
It was the olive trees, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking about the olive trees. We didn't talk about how this pistachio, though, is specifically the oldest flowering nut tree.
There you go.
Biblical times. I'm gonna grab the rubber spatula, and then it should be done.
And we should be good to go. It's been efficient. I don't know how many minutes we've been going. Efficient. In and out.
Do you have the string of the pan in a different color?
Yeah, just go for it. Go for it. Right, here we go.
Look how beautiful! That's nice. Isn't
Fresh,
it?
fresh, fresh.
Pressures. And this is metal, so I don't
Yeah,
have to
you-
worry about burning anything. Okay, so...
Mix. Do you want to do it in that pan or that pan? Do you think? Probably this pan, right?
Because I feel like our ratios maybe have too much of that to that.
Okay.
So I think we should add the sauce and that in there, everything in there, and then add that as we go.
All right. Go for it.
Okay.
Sauce.
It's coming out, gooey, creamy.
I'll let you do that. You better.
Okay. Well, I'm just not gonna add all of it,
Okay.
and we'll see what it looks like.
Okay, that's the.
Oh,
Nearly got that. That would have been legendary. That could have been a slow-mo replay.
you caught a lot of it. I need something to effectively stir it. You're
That
just gonna use
spoon
the
will
rubber
work.
spatula?
That spoon will be useful. You just bang it all in one pot, super easy. Kate's just eyeing up the ratios here because we're cooking from a bigger portion than regular. Oh yeah, that's look. Oh yes.
Can you guys see this?
Creamy mess.
Green
I'd say
spaghetti.
another cup of that gear.
It probably needs a little bit more sauce. Did anyone used to watch that YouTube channel? That video? What was
Epic
it?
mealtime.
Where he would use like fast food and make like these Big Mac casseroles and stuff like that. We used to watch it as a kid. It was just absurd. I can't imagine. Like I used to watch this stuff and be like, oh, that's so good. And I'm like, now I look at it, I'm like, wow, that's just poison. Okay.
Right, that's good. Spoon that in there. One more, I reckon. Yeah, good deal. Go on. Oh, yes.
Some on the ground.
Tim?
Typical. Well, we tried to not have big noodle chunks, but I just
There's
saw
one, yeah. Failed. Well, I would do that and then you can
And maybe just add some to the
Add
top,
some to the top.
as a garnish. Good idea.
full of them.
Okay,
I'll
so
swap you.
we'll get this in a bowl. Holy moly.
Whoop.
Robert and Tracy, you're gonna get the big one. You can share it.
And then
Just a little bit of that on top. This actually looks pretty well. I don't know if you need to add more,
No.
but well, I guess for presentation wise. Snap, crackle. Just a little bit. And then we'll add a fresh leaflet on top. Oh, great. Well, you can't even tell that what that is. Just ridiculous. What a big basil leaf on top.
fresh basil. Lovely.
Ta-da! Oh, that's too big.
Go and hold it around there.
Okay.
Be it. Thank you. Oh, lovely job. Green spaghetti and basil leaf.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
We did it.
Very straightforward recipe.
Simple.
I think it's very easy to make. Obviously, the more you make it, the better you get at the ratios and the timings. But now you've got a big pot of green spaghetti to share with everybody that you love. Isn't that wonderful?
Ah, special.
Yeah, and you can share it. It's a healthy dish. It's tasty, and we're excited to share it with this live audience. We appreciate you all watching this. This recipe is available on our website as always, feelbetterliving.com. Catherine, any closing remarks?
I hope that when you try this, it, like I said, becomes a staple in your house and I know that you'll notice the difference between eating this to your traditional cheesy wheat pasta, and it will make you crave this way more.
Wonderful. Much love, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Peace. Right, good job, honey. That looks great. I'll hand that to. A big thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Centre, Citizens Concerned for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.